Hello, welcome. So today we're going to be looking at some r/today I effed up. I've got some left over from the other day that I'd saved, and I thought, you know what, why don't we read these? Because I do really enjoy this subreddit. It's so funny. It gives me life. Being the clumsy idiot that I am, I love seeing other people be clumsy idiots also. It makes me feel less alone, okay? So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in today, then please do stick around and enjoy. And also don't forget to like and subscribe, please. Thank you. I would really appreciate it. And if you do, I'll give my kitty a treat every time someone subscribes. How about that? My kitties, actually. There's 3 of them. That's going to be a lot of treats. Okay, first post. Today I effed up by eating mixed Greek yogurt and ending up in the ER. I used to be deathly allergic to milk and milk products, cheese, cream, cookies and the like. I decided that the dairy-free lifestyle was not for me. So I started to DIY OIT, oral immunotherapy. Oh, OP. Why? Did you think this was a good idea? Basically, I dose myself with small amounts of dairy and increase the dosage until I could eat dairy freely. I did it with Greek yogurt. I started off with 1/8 of a teaspoon of Greek yogurt, went up to 1 teaspoon in a couple of months, which translated to 1/3 of a tablespoon, and eventually started tolerating multiple tablespoons of Greek yogurt, and being able to eat whatever in the span of 7 months. Greek yogurt separates into 2 parts, a solid curdy part and a liquid moat around the solid curdy part. The solid part is casein protein, and the liquid part is whey protein. I initially only dosed the solid part because it was easier to split up. Someone in my family mixed the yogurt when I was at 1/2 teaspoon, and I consumed whey protein for the first time. Cue being in hospital. TLDR, tried fixing my dairy allergy by dosing up Greek yogurt. Someone mixed it up, giving me some whey protein for the first time, sending me to the ER. Oh, so it's the whey protein that you're allergic to, maybe then. Not necessarily like the casein protein, which is very interesting, but also why the friggin' hell did you think this was a good idea? Please, nobody just decide to DIY medical procedure like this. Oral immunotherapy, from what I understand, needs to be done so slowly at a microscopic level at first, almost, because of how dangerous it can be when you say that you are deathly allergic to milk and milk products. Then you go, I'm going to start microdosing that. Some people with allergies can't even microdose. You got very lucky that you weren't in the ER the same day, the first day you started. And then down in the comments, Collie Fowler says, mate, the milk ladder exists. It's what you do with babies who have a milk allergy. There are significantly easier ways of doing this. And then Zenk says, today I learned milk ladder. Okay, I suppose we can look it up. What? Oh shit, I can't type. Is the milk ladder. Dairy introduction plan. The milk ladder starts with food which is highly processed. Ensure that these foods are being tolerated before moving to the next step. Right, so basically really overly processed foods first that just contain like milk, which has probably been denatured in some way or another. And then going to more, I suppose, pure milk, I guess. Okay. I get it. But yeah, don't do that. Don't do it without a doctor, please. Goodness. Today I effed up at the doctor's. So, today I decided to get tested for a certain infection because I was displaying symptoms. They told me I had to do a swab, both throat and nether regions. When I did the throat swab, it triggered my gag reflex so bad that I vomited twice. Oh no! As if that wasn't bad enough, the swab wasn't usable, so I had to use the backup one since the pack came with 2. I did that, but didn't do it properly. Now for the other swab, I stuck it in and it broke off! No! They're designed to snap in half to fit in the sample test tube. And once I finally got it out, the cotton part had been ripped off. As if it breaking in the first place wasn't bad enough. So I had to go digging for gold, which was very, and I mean very, humbling. When I finally got it out, I flushed it down the toilet and then realised that this one only had one swab. So I had to go back and ask for another backup, and instead of telling the truth since I was embarrassed, I just said I threw it away without realising, and now the nurse thinks I'm an idiot. They're probably right. Lesson learned, use protection. I'm assuming they're kind of like the swabs that you would have for like COVID and stuff. And they have a little breaky off bit, don't they, on them? So if you're popping them up where the sun don't shine, I don't see why they would have the breakable ones for that. Because I can absolutely see how this could be quite a problem. TLDR, went to the doctors for a swab test and it broke inside me and made me vomit, so I had to go exploring. Ended up lying about it to the nurse and came up with a stupid excuse, so the nurse now thinks I'm an idiot. Oh, bless you. I bet that was so embarrassing, especially considering why you were there as well. No one wants to be there in the first place for that. And then down in the comments, 33bunny33 says, you learn the most important lesson, which is to use protection. I used to work in the sexual health field, and I promise you, you're not the first or the last patient to screw up multiple swabs. We saw it all the time. Yeah, I bet you did, if you're going to make them snappable. Morvar says, do you have any insight on how to manage those throat swabs tests for people that have a sensitive gag reflex? Anything you've happened to pick up that works for people? And then 33bunny33 said, so I would let patients do it themselves, and I would just observe to make sure that they didn't hit their tongue or cheek, and told them to take it as slow or gently as needed so that they didn't puke, lol. I didn't care if people gagged and always had a trash can and an emesis bag close by just in case they were super sensitive. And if they didn't feel comfy doing it themselves, I would swab for like a few seconds at a time and then give them time to gag and readjust. Today I effed up by thinking we were alone. A girl on Tinder invited me to her apartment a couple of nights ago. I guess I ticked enough boxes for her to not only feel comfortable having me in her home, but also feel comfortable having me in her bedroom. Don't do that, ladies. Ladies, no. We don't invite strangers off the internet into our house. I don't care how nice they seem. Let's not end up on the news, okay? Please don't do that, please. I was in the middle of providing oral pleasurals when I heard a baby crying in another room. I paused what I was doing and naturally asked questions relating to the baby that I didn't know existed until that moment. I learned that the girl who had my face between her legs was a single mum, who eventually got upset at me for not proceeding with continuing and being concerned that her baby might need her attention. She gave me a speech about how I had no effing idea what motherhood was like, especially for a young single parent. Okay, even more really looking down on this woman for inviting a random man into her house when her kid is there. What are you doing, love? Pack it in? And then sarcastically thanked me for not making her arrive for the first time in months. She kicked me out of her apartment after she was done blaming me for making her feel like she's a bad mum. I mean, come on. I posted this in Am I Overreacting? And the consensus were that my reaction to the crying baby was valid, absolutely, and that the mum should never have allowed a random guy into her apartment to begin with, absolutely. I accepted what happened as a weird Tinder experience or whatever and attempted to move on with my life. Cut to this morning, woke up, first thing I did was check my phone, first thing I said was, what the F? All I could see were messages from the same person. It was the mum. The messages started off apologetic, but then it got bizarre. Based on what I was reading, she wanted me to understand what made me attractive to her. She said I looked like the baby's dad and provided photos of the father as proof. What the friggin' hell? This girly is cooked, man. What? Not gonna lie, we looked alike. Not my main concern right now, actually, funnily enough. She said the fact that I looked like her baby daddy was the only reason she was willing to basically skip all of the steps and invite me over for S. Ah, yes, because that's how you weed out a serial killer. Do they look like someone I know? Oh, they can't possibly be. She said my resemblance was also the reason she lost her crap when I made a fuss about the baby crying, because the father, aka my doppelganger, never gave a F about the baby at all, hence his absence. Don't meet up with this guy, you know what they say about if you meet up with your doppelganger, isn't it something like you're supposed to then pop your clogs? I don't know, I can't quite remember. She joked that she saved my Tinder photos and shared it with her baby daddy to show him what his upgrade looked like. This woman, what is wrong with her? Her messages ended off with her suggesting that we forget about what happened the other night and start afresh. Her suggestion was a contradiction because she also requested that we pick up where we left off in the bedroom. I'm at work now. I have not responded to her messages because I have no idea how to politely tell someone I do not speak psycho. TLDR, hooked up with a girl who got angry at me when I stopped going down on her because I could hear her baby crying in the other room. She kicked me out of her apartment for making her feel like a bad mum. She is. And then a couple days later, she sent me several crazy messages telling me that I looked like her baby's father, who she apparently bombarded with pictures of me in order to show him what his upgrade looked like. Oh, and she wanted us to start over, but also pick up where we left off in bed. Time to delete Tinder forever. Yeah, delete Tinder, tie a brick to your phone, sling it in the nearest river. And then down in the comments, Barry Badger Nath 1 says, round 2. And then Enough Luck 3077 says, finish her. Oh, please don't. Please don't. Don't go back there. You will be the one ending up on the news. This girl is unhinged. Do you know what? Every day I think to myself, it's been 5 years now. Maybe I should think about getting myself back out there, you know, meet some people, you know, go on a few dates, just do something. Stop being such a hermit. And then the internet reminds me why I don't. Today I effed up by taking ADHD meds to stay up all night, and now I'm stuck in hell. So, I have ADHD, and I'm prescribed Concerta. Concerta? I don't know. Usually I take it when I need to focus, but last night I thought it'd be a smart idea to use it to stay up all night with my friend. This seems like a bad idea. We wanted to pull an all-nighter, just hang out, talk, play games, whatever. So I took it around 11 p.m, except I took too much. At first I was fine, I was super awake, everything was funny, and then my friend fell asleep around 3 to 4 a.m, and I started slowly losing my mind. It's now 7 a.m, I haven't slept at all, and I have an unbearable amount of tics. I can't stop moving my eyebrows for some reason. I keep staring at random corners of the ceiling. My body feels like it ran a marathon, but I've been sitting here trying not to explode. You sound like a cat. You know, making random sudden movements, staring into the corner for no reason, getting zoomies. Now, obviously, that is not to downplay the severity of you doing this. Do not do that again. My goodness. And anyone listening, don't do that. But yeah, when I was just reading those 2 sentences then, I was like, wow, this really sounds like my cats at 3 a.m. I feel like I'm trapped in my own body while my brain goes, what the hell are we doing? And my nervous system is like, vibe check, failed. Anyway, don't do what I did. ADHD meds are not Red Bull. I'm just trying to survive until this wears off. Any advice? Lol. Go to the hospital! TLDR, took too much Concerta, don't know, to stay up with my friend, didn't sleep. Now I'm stuck in my own personal tic horror movie and my eyebrows won't chill. Oh, bless you. Also, though, okay, Google, come at me, bro. We need to figure this out. What are ADHD meds made of? Stimulants. They're made of stimulants, okay? Like amphetamines. Oh dear. Yeah, go and get checked out, please. Yesterday. Some are made of non-stimulants, but let's have a look. What? We're going on a tangent here, soz. What is ADHD med converter? A stimulant. In particular, according to MedSafe. Oh no, I've downloaded a booklet. How did I do that? Oh dear. I'm just trying to read through and see what kind of stimulant it falls under. Okay, so it's the methyl infinidate hydrochloride. That's a mouthful right there. So yeah, please don't do that. Google's going to wonder what the frig I'm on today because I've been I've been Googling a few things. It's going to be like, what's wrong with her? What is she doing? And then down in the comments, Axidelic says, oh man, I did something like this before my accident. Forgot I took it again an hour later, didn't sleep for 2 days, felt like I was gonna snuff it. Do you know what, actually? I bet a lot of ADHD people do this because one of the main symptoms of ADHD is forgetfulness, isn't it? So I bet a lot of people have done this before, take it, forget they took it, take it again, and then feel absolutely god-awful. Bless you. Practice steady breathing, try grounding yourself with your feet flat on the floor. If you have any sleepy time tea, make yourself a cup. Try to find something to do with your hands while you lay down. Maybe knit or beading or anything you can think of that can distract you while allowing you to be a comfortable, relaxed position. Put on some calming music. Unfortunately, you're going to have to just ride it out. So, to try and make it at least a little more bearable for yourself, after more than 24 hours with no sleep, you might start to have some mild hallucinations, like seeing shadows in the corner of your eyes. So just be aware of that. It will go away when you get some rest. You will also be extra exhausted and you might have some muscle cramps when you wake up from the lack of sleep and the stimulant. Just try to stay hydrated and don't forget to eat. You got this. My goodness. Yeah, I will say, when you've not had sleep for a few days, genuinely, you'll start to think you're hearing things and seeing things. I get quite bad insomnia, just from time to time randomly. And I'll never forget once I was sat here, not here exactly, but I was sat down and I was just like doing nothing, scrolling on my phone, I think. Next thing, all of a sudden, I thought someone just went, hello, right down my ear. It shit the hell out of me, I could tell you that much. But yeah, please don't purposefully take medications when you don't need them or more than you need, because my goodness, that could have turned out terribly. Okay, so I think that will be us for the day. My phone will not shut up, so I give up trying to record anymore. But I think we have enough to make this a pretty fun and decently lengthed video. My sister, I've just noticed I have a notification for a WhatsApp message off her for a voice note that is 25 minutes long. And now you can see that it's not just me that likes to ramble, actually. It's a family thing, okay? But yeah, if you've made it all the way to the end, then I appreciate you very, very much. If you like to leave a like and subscribe, I'd appreciate you even more and welcome you into the fold for more madness on your feed. Other than that, whatever it is you're doing for the rest of the day, I hope you have a really good rest of your day. Goodbye.